Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all of us at the Extraordinary Podcast. We took last week off for Christmas to take some time to spend with friends and family. And I hope that you guys were able to do the same. This time of year can be kind of tough if you don't have friends and family that are close. One way that I've found to still feel that Christmas spirit if you don't have friends and family near is to find opportunities to serve, whether it be with a homeless shelter or through a church organization. Any opportunity to serve is a great way to feel that same Christmas spirit. And even if you do have friends and family that are close, it's a great opportunity to connect with them on a deeper level, going and serving together. So I encourage you this time of year, it's a great way to feel that Christmas spirit and feel that connection. As we roll into the new year, I've been reflecting a lot about the last 18 months and really the last decade and all that has happened in my life in that time frame. And I thought I would share some of that with you. I realized as I was doing this podcast that I haven't really shared what got me into where this situation that I'm in and led me down this path. So I thought I would take this episode to share some of that with you. But I'll start with reflecting back on the last 10 years, and it's really been pretty interesting to think about. I've really kind of rebooted my life in the last 10 years. Back in 2009, coming off of being divorced for a year or two, I got remarried and started another family, essentially, with having 3 kids over that time span as well. And quite frankly, almost getting divorced too in the process. So I almost started and ended a family in that time frame. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail here in a minute. But the last 18 months has been really a pretty fascinating turn of events, and I thought I might share some of that experience with you and some of my backstory. So at the beginning of 2018, I found out they were going to shut down the entire facilities management department around the country for my company. They gave us basically a year to prepare. And not only that, but they also arranged for opportunities to interview with the new company that they were bringing in, since they were going to need additional staffing to cover everything. I looked at this as a golden opportunity. I had a year to send out resumes, interview with companies, and find just the right fit for my next career move, which excited me. After almost a decade of honing my craft, I was ready to take the next step up the ladder. So that's what I did. I updated my resume, reached out to contacts who had all the right connections. Almost every interview I went on was a direct referral from a close associate or colleague. And it was at this time that I dove into personal development as well. Really hard. Like everyone else does when they want to learn something new, I went straight to YouTube. At first I watched videos on how to interview well, how to build rapport, how to get people to like you, mimicking and mirroring. But eventually it morphed into how to improve your lifestyle, daily effective habits, how to get your dream job. And all that began to pay off. My interviews went great. I could feel the connection with people I interviewed with. They liked my answers. The skill set and the jobs all seemed to be a perfect fit. And this was the case with not one, but 3 different companies. I came back for follow-up interviews with the top 2, meeting with more of the team and getting into more detail about the exact specifics of the role that I would be filling. Everything was coming together perfectly. My biggest worry became not which job I was going to take, but which job I was going to turn down and how I was going to let them know. And then the weirdest thing happened. No one offered me anything. No job from any of them. One went with another candidate, another put the position on hold, and another I never heard back from at all. Something wasn't right. I had nailed these interviews. I was a perfect fit for the jobs I was hoping for. Granted, one of the roles was basically being created for me, but still, things just didn't add up. At the same time, I should also tell you that I was in the process of getting a divorce. I had been in a very toxic relationship with my wife for many years, and it seemed inevitable that the relationship was over. It got so bad that in the summer of that year, I moved out. Right as all this was going on, I moved into a basement apartment of a wonderful couple in my church. I had been trying for a long time, going through multiple counselors and therapists, both as a couple and on my own, trying to make this relationship work. But this was once again the ideal time and opportunity for me to make this break. Having already been divorced before, I tried to handle the situation as delicately as possible, not to be traumatic for our girls, and make the transition as easy as possible given the circumstances. But that being said, I was a total mess. Not getting the jobs I thought were a slam dunk, having my marriage fail, and giving up that I would ever see any changes in our relationship. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. I was at my wit's end. I've never been suicidal, but at this time, I just wanted to die. And one night, I just sat there in that basement apartment, crying, sobbing, asking God what I was supposed to do, asking for help. I asked for some kind of direction in my life. I told him if he would tell me what to do, then I would do it. No questions asked. I will go where he wants me to go. I will do what he wants me to do. And then Victor showed up. Although I had moved out, I would still come to watch the kids after work and make dinner while my wife would work from her home office upstairs well into the night. But I was transitioning out of this role when I got the call from some members of our church who wanted to meet a young man that they were teaching. They needed a place to teach him, and another adult male needed to be there to sit in with them. I agreed. Victor lived close to me, and I would pick him up and bring him over to the house to meet with these other members. This created a small but noticeable change in the home and in my life. The feeling in the house changed. My wife started to change. Over the next month or two, everything began to change. Through meditation and journaling, I began to understand what it was I was supposed to do. I started to piece things together. It was, and still is, incredibly scary. But I felt like at this time I was given my calling. I somehow knew what I was supposed to do. I had no idea how, but I knew that I had to do it. So I started. Every day, tiny, small steps, reaching out, asking for help, blindly trying to find my way. And things kept getting weirder. Opportunities and resources began to reveal themselves. Every time I would get stuck, a solution would present itself. It was as if I was being kept on track by some invisible force. Despite all of this, I still questioned and doubted why. Over the past year, I found several other job and career opportunities that I've attempted to pursue. But every time I do, I get yanked back onto this course, this path. I'm not even 100% sure what this path is or what it will look like. But I'm amazed at where it has led me so far, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds. So that's the short version. There's a lot more stories to tell about this journey, and I will continue to share them on some upcoming episodes. You'll get to hear how my first episodes were edited and completed by remodeling a basement. The story of the Airbnb book that led me to publishing my first episode. But mostly, just how all these amazing people were put in my path. I can't wait to share it all with you, so stay tuned to hear more. Last but not least, I hope you will take a moment to reflect, not just on the past 10 years, but more importantly, the next 10 years. What will that look like for you? What do you plan to do with the next 10 years of your life? Where do you want to be by then? What do you want to do by then? What do you want to have? Who are the people that you want in your everyday life, and what role will they play? Then once you have thought about the answers to these questions, start today to realize those answers. Ask for these things on a regular basis. Ask for help to achieve these things. Who do you know that is living the way that you want to? Ask them to help you get there. As you get these answers, I hope that you will take some time to plan in the next 91 days on your calendar. What small minor steps can you take over the next 91 days that will create a habit that will lead you to your ideal self, the lifestyle that you desire? After that 91 days, take a step back, reevaluate, realign, and keep moving forward. I know you will be amazed, as I have, at what you can achieve. Best of luck with the new year, and most importantly, be extraordinary. I'm your host, Nate G, and we'll see you next week. Hey y'all, thanks for listening. So what'd you think? What did I miss? Anything that you wanted to hear that I didn't cover? What do you want to know more about? Who would you like to see on the show? Hit us up on social media and tell me what you think. Check us out on iTunes and please leave a review. We're now on Patreon and your support there helps let us know we're headed in the right direction. We have a lot of exciting new things coming, fascinating guests, and some of the craziest stories you won't believe. So stay in the loop and check out more great content by subscribing at our website, 8keystoGreat.com. Special thanks to my guests and all those of you living an extraordinary life. This is Nate G. We'll see you next week.